I mean, as much as I love my chat, if I'm playing, I want the jettest of jet seeds. All right, so we are off. Strumpetplaya on the right, Couch 23 on the left. The uncle says he's just going out for a pack of smokes. Uncle, don't you know that smoking's going to kill you? All right, first item is 5.
Yeah, typically, while we say we typically want rupees early, that's not quite enough to be of significant note.
Yeah, probably not.
That being said, as we run towards Uncle here, we of course are playing in the standard randomized swords method, so though we are starting in the Uncle house, we are not going to necessarily get a sword from Uncle here. We are going to get one of 7 weapons, and we shall see which one in about 5 more seconds.
And that's gotta be... Oh, that's the wrong cane. Sorry. Got too excited.
Don't be blue, Phantom. Don't be blue.
No, at least not yet. All right, so 10 arrows in the lamp chest. So our runners are going to have to be pretty judicious in the use of the Cane of Burna here because it does burn magic very quickly, and they have a couple enemies that they are absolutely required to kill on the way out. Oh, man. That is not what Strumpet wanted to see, that full magic decanter right there. He would have preferred that drop to come much later here in Escape.
Oh, and Couch actually gained the same drop, so both of them already progressed in their prize pool past that drop.
Yep.
As unfortunate as that may end up being, we'll see how the bomb drops treat our runners as well, though, here.
Yeah. Got some nice sync going on here. See how our runners use the Cane of Burna here. Wow. Identical.
Pretty much right on.
So the Cane of Burna does fighter sword damage. As you notice, it took 3 hits to kill one of those guards. So not the strongest weapon. Probably one of the least desirable starting weapons to come out. Although it is easy to use.
I was about to say, the one advantage is that it's one of the simpler weapons to at least kill the sewer rat with, the final boss of Randomized Swords Escape.
And we got the burrito here early, so everything else is pretty much a grab bag from here on out.
Yep. Gonna get that small key in the sewer chest, but...
Yep.
So, hopefully, definitely still hoping for that bomb. We're not gonna get a bomb in a chest because... Well, oh, sorry, we still have... Right, I forgot. We still have one more chest in here. This could be the small key, too. Never mind me.
It's alright. It happens to the best of us. That's why we have 2 commentators. One of us to keep the other one honest.
Exactly.
So Couch getting harassed by the Green Knight there. Just a big 20 in Zelda's chest. Hashtag things in Zelda's chest.
And out we go.
Yeah, Strumpet can get out here a little bit earlier. Didn't have nearly the problem with the green guard that Couch did, so got a little bit of an edge here, but it is way, way early in this to be talking about anybody being in the lead. As we say in Randomizer, there is no lead until go mode.
Even then, there's not necessarily a lead.
Very true. Because Ganon hugs are the best hugs.
Ganon hugs, Ganon tower routing, differences in swords, all sorts of silly little things.
That's Rando for you, boys and girls. Alright, so we still have, well, potentially we have 5 more chests to open here in the Escape. One is guaranteed, as you mentioned, guaranteed to be a small key. But if our runners can somehow get a bomb drop, as you see Couch trying to farm for a bomb over there, if our runners can somehow get a bomb drop, they will be able to get the 3 items in the back of Escape sewers.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where these runners decide to use some of their magic to try to farm for some. Because assuming these players know where the magic pot is in the dark rooms, they definitely have the ability to use basically all of their current magic to try to farm for something and then save their last activation to kill the key rat.
Yeah, I'm relatively certain that both of these runners know exactly where the magic pots are. There are a couple down here in the Escape. Whether or not they feel that the time sink is worth it, however, is another story.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Strumpet having to use an activation there to get through the snake hellway.
Both of our runners down a heart here. As you mentioned, that chest had to be the small key, otherwise we'd have a soft lock.
Yep. Couch not going for the rats in the top right, Strumpet. So that top right area of this room has I think 4 or 5 rats that you can kill very quickly if you do approach it. Makes sense, of course, to see our runners. Oh, okay, fine. Whoa. So Couch will not have a bomb. Strumpet will also not have a bomb. We're on even footing, at least.
Yep, so our runners can wait until they get the power glove to get back down there, or they could decide after they find a bomb to walk all the way back through, escape. Doubt that'll happen. I would surmise that they would wait until they got the power glove to try and go back.
Goes a little bit of both ways. Once you've completed the main checks, if you've checked Kakariko, South, and Eastern Palace areas without finding the glove, I'd be going back there as one of my next checks, unless I have items leading me elsewhere.
Alright, so escape is done. Both of our runners get really great time, considering non-standard weapon loadout, but about six minutes. Really good time for me.
Just over by the looks of it, but yeah, real close, real tight. Burna not really being too slow, just being very difficult to farm with due to how the magic is consumed.
Let's see what the pole tree has for our runners here. Oh, it's got bombs. Wow, it's a little late for that.
I expect we will probably still see a tree pull in. Well, berries on the tree crabs, or the bush crabs. That's interesting.
Yeah, that could conceivably be important later. But as good as these runners are, I doubt they'll be in any danger later on. Just a piece of fart on lumberjacks, so no early clues about whether or not Aghanim is required.
But as I sort of was mentioning before here, I expect we're going to see another tree pull in our Lost Woods here to get 4 more bombs free for a very small time loss.
They're going to need a way to kill enemies first. There's the power glove. Oh, wow.
Oh, we got a different tier tree pull for Couch that time. Was that the health refill causing him to change tiers? Is that what happened there?
I honestly do not know. There's another big 20 for Strumpetplaya.
Strumpet not going for the second tree pull either way, so both players going to have 4 bombs going in and only 5 rupees apart. So pretty much dead even still. Just Strumpet, of course, being a screen transition ahead.
Alright, so it is Kakariko time, and let's see. Oh, Couch is going back. Couch says, hang on. I got bombs now. I got the power glove. I'm gonna check these 3 items back in the escape sewers.
I don't blame him for this. I feel like it would have been faster to just do this on your first save and quit, but you never know what you'll find here pay off. If you find the boots, then it immediately has already paid off.
We got the flute in Thieves' Hideout down there, so that's important.
Yep. That it is.
Alright. Drum roll, please. We've got Baby's First Shield by Fisher Price, an arrow upgrade, and a piece of fart. Not what Couch was hoping for.
No, not at all. As I said, that's sort of why, aside from boots, there's not a lot of items you would have gotten in there that would have sped up your Kakariko check. So while it was a play that they gave him faster information, it wasn't one that was likely going to speed up his routing overall. But of course, you never know until you do it.
Right. I mean, that's the nature of randomizers. Sometimes you have to make gambles like that, and it's a risk-reward calculus. And this time it didn't work, but sometimes it does work. Like, well. At any rate,
even if he'd just gotten a sword or another weapon, and his opponent had decided not to check it until after he did the South Light World check, could have been so on and so forth. But
But over on Strumpetplaya scene, ladies and gentlemen, the goose is loose. And that's one thing that I know has plagued a lot of rando runners. You get the flute really early, you forget to activate it.
Yep. You know, we get it on the bottle vendor, you typically remember. Outside of that, you get it early in Kakariko, and there's a lot of tendency to just sort of keep doing the checks and sort of forget to even activate it.
Muscle memory is a hell of a thing. And we got the hook shot in Chicken Hut.
Hookshot will be a very nice weapon to have for the mini Moldorm cave check, as it will one-shot the mini Moldorms and has a large enough hitbox to hit them relatively effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm torn as to whether the mini Moldorms or the Dead Rocks are the worst, because in early game with limited weaponry, the mini Moldorms can be a complete pain in the tuchus. So Strumpetplaya opting to buy more bombs. I bet you'd like to have more bombs. Can't blame him on that choice either.
No, I don't know a lot of players. Anyways, now we actually get to hear the Swag Duck national anthem. And Couch's duck is a muck.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the conclusion of the national anthem. You may now be seated. There was a rod of some sort on top of the library, and we have green pendant at Desert Palace crystals at the other two in the light world. I'm not sure if it was fire or ice rod on top of the library, so definitely our runners are going to be coming back to that.
Yeah. And chat not helping. Chat also confused on which one it is.
So this is interesting. Strumpet is opting to go ahead and hit the 300 rupees at the race game. That will put him over 500, so if he's going to fake flipper up to Zora, he will have Zora money.
And in general, putting him in a fairly good spot for rupees for most of the rest of the seed in general.
Indeed. So we'll see if Couch makes the same choice. Couch did also, like Strumpet, go ahead and buy more bombs. Alright, see where Strumpet flutes to. I would assume 7.
Just Link's house. Probably
okay.
should have gone to 7, but...
Again, muscle memory is a heck of a thing.
Yeah. And to be fair, doing it quickly is almost more important than doing it right sometimes.
Yeah. I still didn't see whether it was fire or ice rod on top of the library on Couch's stream. So Couch opts to just nope out on the race game. Or nope, he nopes out on the Swag Duck. He's going to pick up the 300 rupes as well. Can't say I blame him.
No, it's definitely a nice solid play. Definitely a play that would likely indicate that players are considering fake flippers. With Zora already being in logic because we do have the gloves, it does make it a little bit more of a valuable play as well.
Yep. Alright, so Strumpet says nope to the lag meringue. I think most runners would choose to do that. I would pick up the red meringue because I'm one of the few people that actually appreciates the red boomerang, but you know, I get where people are coming from. Alright, it is that annoying mini Moldorm cave, and as you pointed out, Spiffers, the hook shot is a wonderful weapon for that.
Yeah. Because I've seen the arrow strats in there, and the arrow strats in there are awful because it's impossible to hit them from the side, but hook shot does not have that problem.
And wow, Lake Hylia Cave was the cave of love and money. Make of that what you will, ladies and gentlemen. But lots of money and lots of hearts. So that's pretty much it. And plus, of course, everyone's favorite, the single arrow of dreams.
Yeah. 600 rupees in that cave is a little bit ridiculous, but that's what we have.
Yeah. Hey, it's rando. Sometimes it's going to be ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh, Strumpet almost took a hit from one of those crabs. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, those crabs are always out for blood. They do 2 full hearts of damage to Link with the green mail, and they are, you know, light world overworld enemies.
Yeah, and that sideways move speed is just silly. Well, there's a bottle. First bottle, so sick kids available as well. We may see a very fast check of that since we do have the flute already.
Yeah.
We may also see it ignored for a little while, as there's not a lot of reason to go back to Kakariko otherwise.
Yep, we'll see. Strumpet fluting, so he's not going to be fake flippering.
No,
Or
he
he's going to make a liar. Exactly, or he's going to make a liar out of me and go ahead and fake flipper anyway.
I said that, I'm like, he's going to 8. What do you mean he's not fake flippering? He's just doing it faster.
Yeah. So, yep, we're going to get a peek of Lake Hylia Island here. It is Big 20 on Lake Hylia Island.
Red. Not the one that you're looking for, though.
Right, so Strumpet's gonna fake flipper to Hobo, and I also assume we are going to see a pixel perfect trick here, where Strumpet will jump off of the island and resume the fake flipper, but there is I believe there's a margin of error of only 1 pixel for this trick that he's about to pull off here.
That is correct, but there's so many setups for that trick. I've never seen anyone use my setup for it, but I've seen so many different setups for it. Any setup that lands you one frame or 1 pixel away from the edge of the screen will work.
All right, and Sick Kid says, "Here's a big 20." So even though Strumpet, go ahead.
Not what we're hoping for there.
No, not at all. So even though Strumpet did fake flipper up to the Zora area here, it's important to note that he is not able to get the 2 items in the Waterfall of Wishing because of the way the game checks whether Link is in a swimming or falling or standing state. You have to have the Moon Pearl to be able to use the fake flipper trick to get those items. Meanwhile, Couch is heading up to Death Mountain, while Strumpetplaya heads over to the purveyor extraordinaire of life lessons, yes, King Zora himself, boys and girls.
Yeah, Death Mountain definitely seems like the stronger play. Ooh, a sword!
An S-word. Absolutely, Couch is going to go get that.
You're never passing up a sword at this point in the seed. Most runners aren't going to pass up a sword they can get right then until Butter Sword, and then it still has to be a significant time invest before you're going to pass up even Butter Sword.
Indeed. All right, so Couch finds an S-word, the first S-word of the game. Strumpet going back to the back of Escape. He's going to be a little disappointed in what he finds there, but you know, it's rando. So. Interesting choice. Oh, I know why Couch did this. The easier thing would have been to save and quit and gotten the mountain cave starting point, but he has not rescued the old man yet and does not have that restart point. But now that he has a sword, it's going to be much easier to rescue the old man in the dark.
I think this is also a little bit of just taking out a little bit of the Dead Rock RNG there. The Dead Rocks like to get in that little narrow path there, and it's a pain in the butt to deal with them. Jumping down from there just avoids that entirely.
Yep. And Strumpetplaya about to be disappointed by the Sick Kid as well. So Couch heading into Paradox Cave. 7 items here. High potential for progression. Or, if not progression, just funsies.
Yeah.
Right, so Strumpet is...
Neither player checking our Desert Palace area, or sorry, Eastern Palace area yet, so there's still plenty of items over there as well that could be holding our next progression.
Yeah, so Couch picked up the Master Sword in Paradox Cave. Meanwhile, Strumpetplaya taken the challenging task here of trying to get the old man in the dark without a sword. Says, nope, I'm done here. We got a big 20, we got 50, we got an arrow upgrade, 2 more items here in Paradox Cave. They are the Harry Potter coin and the Moon Pearl.
Well, these players probably aren't hoping to see a lamp anytime soon now. Lamp, of course, at this point would be leading to the AGA 1 for Dark World access. That being said, we are, of course, only a hammer or another mid upgrade away from Dark World access otherwise as well, so we will likely be seeing all checks exhausted before we go to Ega 1 in the seed.
Oh, without a doubt. Couch, uncharacteristically, I think, of him missing the bomb jump there in Paradox Cave. Don't know why he didn't retry it, instead going the long way, but this is also the assured way, so...
Yeah, my philosophy for that one, personally, is try it quick. If you fail it, just go out the front door and do it the normal way. But that all depends on how much you've practiced your bomb jumps and how solid you are on them. I have this tendency of backing up into the holes, which is part of the reason why I make that decision personally.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Alright, so Couch revealing that there is a shield on the floating island. When was the last time you saw anything progression on the floating island? At any rate, Resident Sleepers in the chat, because we are doing Spiral Cave with no boots.
Yep. And Strumpetplaya getting his sword and immediately going back to rescue the old man.
Now, Couch did not do that, so it could be important to see what the old man has in store today.
Of course, important to note that whatever the old man has is not in logic until we get the lamp.
That's correct.
So this is it is not going to specifically cost him if this is something important. See what it is though. It's the blue mail.
That's one of those very nice to have items.
Yeah, Couch will get that in the future, and it likely won't be of huge consequence, but we shall see as we get there.
Meanwhile, Couch heading over to Sahasrah's hut, gonna check the old man's closet, see what's waiting in there. And I would expect a dip into Eastern after that.
Yeah, having exhausted all his locations, there's the lamp. So we do have a Dark World access now, as mentioned before, and Couch may be making that play with that immediate save and quit.
Okay, he's... Wow, is he gonna go Aga this early without a dip into Eastern? That's
he may, looks like it.
Yeah, it's not a bad call.
It could come back to bite him. It might not, but the fact that Eastern with the crystal, it definitely wouldn't have hurt to start the check there for sure.
Yep. Again, you know, it's all about making these educated guesses. Here we are early in the game, and you've got everything you need to do Aga. The odds are there are 3 items in Eastern Palace. You're only going to be able to get 2 of them right now because you can't get to Armos at all. You
could get all 3.
Yeah, but I'm saying
but you're only
there could be something on Armos. Yeah.
And logically, well, sorry, no, we have the lamp. Never mind. Logically, definitely at least 2 items. There is also, of course, Agana's Cave as an available location as well.
That's true.
Which, with the flute, is not an awful location to check.
That's a good point, but I think a lot of runners would rather do Aganim than Agana, unless, of course, they have access to desert. Yeah,
and that's definitely part of what colors this decision. The only reason that I probably would have done Agana first, just by virtue of the fact that I know I'm 1 item away from Dark World access without Aganim, but this is definitely not a poor play all the same.
No, it's just... It's not a poor play, it's just not the one I think that a lot of runners would choose to make, not because of any necessarily rational decision, although the percentage of Aghanim required is low. It's that nobody wants to do it, and it's a time sink.
Yeah. Solid, what, 6 minutes? Fairly optimally done?
Yeah, about that. Yep. Alright, so Strumpet is heading over to the eastern area now. Obviously, he is going to check Sahasrah as well. So will Strumpet dip into eastern, and will that be a critical decision? Stay tuned.
And of course, similarly, will he check, if Eastern has nothing of consequence, will he also check Agana's Cave before he goes to Aganim as well?
And shout-outs to Adirondack Rick in the chat, asking how many blue balls is Aghanim going to toss at our runner today? Minimum of 0, maximum of 15. Get your guesses in the chat right now.
Well, I've been guessing 3 for the longest time. Then I realized 3 is the average, so that's boring. So I'm going to go for 5.
I'll go one lower, say cuatro.
That being said, I like 3 because it's just trolly enough to force the second lightning phase. Yeah, second lightning phase. Without becoming like overbearingly. Why is this Aga fight still going on?
All right, so Aghanim 1 fight. Yeah, there's not really much to say about Aghanim 1. Just spin to win and hope he shoots. There's 1 blue ball, but hope he doesn't shoot blue balls. The Strumpet finding the big key in the first chest of Eastern Palace. He's in the hook shot here to skip an entire room.
Really a fairly small time save in the grand scheme of things, but we take every moment we can get.
That's right. Alright, there's 1 item in Eastern Palace. It's just 10 arrows.
Yep.
There's 2 blue balls. There's 3.
There's 4.
Alright, stop throwing blue balls, Aghanim, so I can be right.
Strumpet with a fantastic invisible Stalfos room there.
Yeah, love doing that. Okay, there's 5. Alright. 1 more Aghanim, so my commentary partner is wrong.
Darn it.
Yeah! There we go. Alright. At least I didn't... At least we both lost. Wow.
Well, and now Couch loses as well, because on the last ball, he's forced to go all the way to the guaranteed... of course, for anyone who doesn't know, the first shot of every phase is guaranteed to be a normal shot.
Yeah, not a great Aga. 7 blue balls. Alright. Time to see if there is progression on the pyramid. That would certainly indicate that we got the right decision. Okay, crystals 5 and 6 are at Turtle Rock and Thieves Town. Misery Mire is a pendant. What was the other pendant dungeon? I missed it.
Ice Palace and Mire.
Alright, Ice Palace and Mire, and we have, ladies and gentlemen, the wavy coin, the bacon coin, Quack, is on the pyramid.
Well, once again, we have the medallions that don't really matter and not Bombos, which is always sort of interesting, because Bombos is the one medallion that has a use outside of opening, a use in the randomizer for most players, outside of opening one of the 2 dungeons that require it. As Bombos is also useful for logically getting access to Ice Palace without the Fire Rod.
Alright, meanwhile for Strumpet, we clearly saw that Eastern Palace was a bust. He is heading over to Agana's cave before trying Aghanim, so this is kind of last chance saloon here for Strumpet to be able to put off Aghanim.
Yeah, the only other play you would have would be if you really, really want to try putting off, he could try for Waterfall Fairy Cave.
Yeah.
But that's not in logic and is that much less likely to have further progression. But
So
at the same
Couch
time,
running up to Catfish earlier just gets a big 20. What was in Agana's cave?
the thing that's good saying go the hell to Aga 1, it's the cape.
Oh wow. Okay. All right, if you hadn't figured it out now, yeah, okay. So Aghanim seems to be the right play. Well, actually, it has to be the right play.
Yeah,
so...
logically, it's the right play. Whether there's the other mitt or the hammer happens to be in the Waterfall Fairy Cave could be a thing, and it is available because they do have the Moon Pearl. But it's not really what you want to be doing. Because it's just more time for something that you've technically already done most of that you don't really want to do right now.
Exactly. So Couch is going to have to go the long way around the Village of Outcasts using the hook shot. He does have the he does not have the cape, but he is going to. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, Couch, come on, work with me here. He is going to check Bumper Cave here, and Bumper Cave today is nada, just a bomb upgrade.
No, like I said, the cape just saying go to Aghanim. Stop checking locations.
Yeah.
Couch either fat fingering his map button or double checking that Skullwoods is a crystal.
Yeah, Skullwood's such a quick check. Yes, there are only 2 unique items in Skullwoods, but it seems to have a pretty good chance of containing a progression item. And when you're in a Aga Seed where you basically reached a point where you were at.
Yeah, this is especially true in a seed or in seeds because of the fact that the only requirement for the first 4 chests in Skullwoods is access to the Dark World.
Right.
Well, access to this part of Dark World. In those few cases where you have where you can kill Aghanim but not get here.
All right. Well, Skullwood's going to troll Couch a little bit because it's got a small key and the big key in the first 2 chests.
Just gonna run away from the jelly. Can't blame him. Pain the Moldorm with that spin.
Which was very nice. See if he can get across and pick up those bombs. Yes, he does. Alright, only one more item to check here in Skullwoods for Couch 23. And that's going to be in one of the most annoying rooms. But he's not going.
Not going to bother, and I can't really blame him because, once again, he knows he's going to come back here at some point. Doesn't want to sink the time right now, just was sort of doing it on his way to Village of Outcasts.
Oh man, this is so much better when you have the boots.
Yeah, I so often leave through the other exit just for the virtue of not having to slash all the bushes.
Right. Alright, so Village of Outcasts time. Now, it'd be interesting to see if Couch decides to go into Thieves' Town, because he does not have the hammer. However, it is possible to, in this version of the logic, to get all of the items from Thieves' Town and the small key that opens the door to the big chest can actually be locked inside the big chest in this version of the logic. And
with Thieves' Town being a 5/6 crystal, that could provide a little bit of knowledge on if that small key does happen to be there. It does provide a little bit of knowledge about where the hammer is, depending on what items we have in a couple other locations in the dungeon.
So Couch finding the blue mail there in Bombable Hut, which means when Strumpet gets over here, that will be the red mail. Big greener there in Sea Hut, everyone's favorite item.
We found too many of the actual big greens. May as well find the small ones too.
Yeah. And, yep, going into Steve's Town here. We got 4 items in the front. Let's see.
Well,
oh, we got the mitts.
Hello, Titans.
Is this even randomized?
It is a little bit. It's French vanilla.
That's right. Interesting, you saw a Couch trying to hookshot to that skull pod over there, was not able to do so. Reason is because if there's a bunny beam hiding under that pot, the hookshot will not attach. Likewise, if you try to hookshot to a skull rock in the overworld, and it's one of the skull rocks that comes alive, the hookshot will just go right through it.
I do believe the bunny beam covering rocks have some weird pixels that can allow you to attach to them, but it's super awkward and by no means worth trying for faster movement. But the skull rocks in the overworld definitely not letting you hookshot to them. Strumpet getting his Aga 1 down.
And Couch going back for that heart, knowing that, oh, he does have Cane of Burna, though.
We'll see if Strumpet wants to make a pod dip. Wouldn't be too surprised if he does decide to make that play. But of course, may also just follow Couch across and start the loop immediately.
That's true. I know relatively certain that both of these runners are capable of doing dark rooms. Looks like Strumpet is, in fact, going to go to pod. Can't blame him. And there are a lot of items you can check in pod without the bow or the hammer.
An interesting note. If Strumpet knows how to do the potion glitch, he does have a bottle with a green potion in it right now, and he does have a lamp to empty some of his magic to be able to use the green potion.
Yeah, so let's take it.
So he has. So Strumpet has the ability to full clear everything except for Helmasaur if he decides to use that glitch.
It would take a little bit of time though, because without the hammer or the mirror, you can't really shortcut through the dungeon. Couch has got to be careful here. These grasshoppers. Oh yeah, see, commentator's curse, I guess.
That being said, at least he was done the room first.
Yes.
Like if you're gonna take a death, that's when you want to take that death. Because all that you have to do is basically go back through the hellway, hit the crystal switch, and just turn around and keep going through the dungeon the way we normally would be.
So let's see. Okay, pod is not quote unquote bow locked since there was a key in that first chest. It's not bow locked yet. Yeah. Right.
There are a number of different places that pod can become bow locked. We will see if and where those occur.
Yeah, a lot of times, though, it is worthwhile to just run in and check pod, because if you get an item in that first chest, you're done. There's nothing else you can do there. And so sometimes that's decent knowledge.
Similar to Fire Rodless Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but depending on the placement of keys in Turtle Rock, the Fire Rod could be as far back as Laser Bridge.
But you have the same thing here with the bow.
Yeah,
to be fair.
Very true. Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct.
What's our stun prize? Stun prize is a bomb. So probably not going to come into play. Our players have lots and lots of bombs for the other offensive weapons they already have, so... Ooh, we did get the small key outside of that chest.
Alright, let's see. Well, no, Couch has Cane of Burna, so I imagine if in the unlikely event that he gets into any trouble in the blind fight, we'll see Blue Cane come out.
It's already out. It's just not activated yet.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Strumpet is going to make the he's going to check the arrow locked location.
This is going to be interesting. This is the first time I've seen anybody do this in the race. And
looks good so far.
Yep.
We are good.
You got it. So
really,
he's going to have to
the room from here, anyways. I think you could just kill those mimics at this point. The red one's already gone.
Yeah.
Oh, the red one. Oh, well, okay, that works. I didn't realize it didn't leave the room.
Yeah, it doesn't leave the room, but as long as it's scrolled off the screen, the door will open.
Yeah.
And Blind drops the compass. I think that means there is an item sitting in the big chest in Thieves Town, so whether or not that is important, we'll have to wait till later.
Yeah. Hello, Bugnet. Something that's what we were looking for over here. A small cane of Bugnet, meaning that pod was not bow-locked by any means, I believe. Most likely. As Strumpet did already have a small key as he headed over here in the first place.
Strumpet takes a death warp back to the beginning. Meanwhile, Couch, having completed Thieves Town, is going to do the South Dark World route here. Going to be a location that's not available to him, and that would be Cave South of Grove, because no mirror, unless he's find it here at Alec Baldwin's digging game. See if he takes the Froggy World Tour or not, though.
Yeah, not much reason to not take the frog with you, unless you really don't want to be turning it in the near future, as the frog does negate you a couple options. But tempered sword.
Alright, so won't be seeing any Master Sword Ganon, which I'm sure relieves Couch, because even if you can do Master Sword Ganon, nobody wants to do Master Sword Ganon.
No, it's really not a thing that you want to be doing.
And old Stumpy gives us some big love. So Couch is going to make his way over to Hype Cave now. Hype Cave's kind of been hit or miss in this logic. Now, in the previous version of the logic, it was never Hype Cave. But this version is giving us some hype.
Hype Cave's in a good spot right now. It's not like a you may as well not even bother location, but it's also not a you need to go here or else location.
Right. So missed whatever. Oh, there's silvers. Missed whatever item was in the north chest in the Maze of Darkness there in Pod. We got Shovel. I heard you like fetch quests.
Vanilla Hammer.
Oh my!
That's the location.
Wow. As we say a lot of the times here in Randomizer, the trolliest location for an item to be is usually its vanilla note location. And that is exactly what just happened in Palace of Darkness for Strumpetplaya. Lots of things, lots of options just open to Strumpet having that hammer.
Yep.
The hammer...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, we're just so excited now. We're talking over each other. What I was going to say is the hammer gates more locations in the game than any other item.
Yes, yeah, it's pretty high up there. Well, maybe the power gloves in a way, but that sort of depends. Yeah. There's a couple items that can gate a lot of locations if they're the time you find them, but basically whatever item grants you Dark World access is the one that gated the most items.
I must bow to your superior logic, sir. Okay, Couch 23 getting the red mail here, as the uncle sometimes says red mail is for cowards, but let me tell you something, nobody's going to turn it down if it's easily accessible.
Meanwhile, we are of course going to finish the we're going to go see Dark Death Mountain. Order of words is somewhat important.
Yeah. Now, what could be interesting here as well, Strumpetplaya has the hammer, and he has not yet gone into Thieves' Town. As we saw with Couch 23, I believe I'm correct in this, that there is an item sitting in that big chest in Thieves' Town. If that is a progression item, Strumpet's going to have a significant advantage.
Yeah, especially if Couch was counting items. If Couch was accurately counting items, he wouldn't have even opened that chest if he wasn't looking for items still, because if he knew it was the small key and the map and the compass were still out, he wouldn't have opened the chest in the first place. But he did.
Yeah. We got the water toes, the flippers, and a big 20 there in Super Bunny Cave. Although I will say, Spiffers, that could just be muscle memory.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's where you never know. As I said, if you're counting items and you're right up to date on your logic, you can know not to do that. I know that I'm typically not keeping enough track to properly do that, but the runners
usually
that do,
not either.
The runners that do can have that knowledge just from if they did find all the other items.
Was that ether for truck? I'm an old man. My eyesight is not the best, but I think that was ether for truck.
I did not catch it at all. That was an ice rod, though.
And so that means it's definitely fire rod that is sitting on the library. Bombos, everybody says. Thank you, chat. Alright, so we know now for a fact that that boots are going to be... Well, we knew that as soon as we knew Turtle Rock was a required dungeon. But boots are going to be a required item. They're not always required, but this time they will be.
Yeah.
Strumpetplaya saying, I don't like this room. Nobody likes this room. I'm just going to use the medallion to kill everything at once.
of course, interesting to note that it's fully possible that even though all 3 of the dungeons that are left could require the boots and/or fire rod in certain seeds, the boots could still be on pedestal.
That would be extremely trolly. I'm sure the chat would love to see that. Strumpetplaya purposely getting grabbed by the Wallmaster there to nope on out of Skull Woods. Meanwhile, Couch is going to be treading over ground that Strumpetplaya already has. However, Couch will have access to the 2 items in the Waterfall of Wishing. That could be interesting as well.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting items to find, of course, in the near future. One would be the mirror, which would put Swamp Palace into logical access. What else do we need? We need a Bombos at some point, of course. Bombos, of course, giving full access to Ice Palace. Well, outside of Samaria, possible required Samaria for logic-wise.
Wait, he does have the hook shot, so...
Yeah. He does have the hook shot, which is one of the logical requirements. Of course, for a lot of these runners, if you're able to do the bomb jumps in Ice Palace, the only requirement is your fire source to kill Freezors.
Yep. Alright, so here's the Waterfall of Wishing. We got Big 20 and the bow!
The bow.
The D. So now both Pod and Eastern are clearable for Couch 23.
Yeah. Couch not knowing that yet, as he doesn't have the hammer, because we don't know how long he'll put off Pod for.
Oh yeah. See, this is why we have 2 commentators, you keeping me honest.
Exactly. Very likely we'll see that play in the relatively near future.
Oh yeah.
There's not a lot of reason to put off that area for super long time.
Alright, and meanwhile, Strumpet is in Thieves Town, gets his golden gloves, the Titan's mitts. So let's pay particular attention over there and see what he finds in the big chest here in Thieves Town. If that is something like Cane of Samaria or Bombos for Turtle Rock, or even the boots.
Or as mentioned, I'll say Bombos doesn't lead just to Turtle Rock, of course. As mentioned before, Bombos could also lead to Ice Palace.
Indeed.
Especially with the runners knowing that Fire Rod is locked behind boots, it's going to put a little bit more emphasis on potentially taking Bombos to Ice Palace, knowing that Fire Rod is not going to be necessarily easily found.
Right. The Couch says, you know what? I'm heading on into Eastern because I have the bow. And as both...
Rick pointing out that interesting note of Couch has done 0 sequence breaking. Oh, sorry. He did the old man. But,
yeah.
Or no, sorry, no, he didn't even... No, he didn't... He failed the old man the first time. He actually did the old man in logic, even. I believe, right? He did it after he got the lamp.
No, Strumpet tried to do it before he got the sword, and didn't, but then when he found the sword, he went back.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
Oh, no, you're right. Couch did do it in logic, because he's got the red mail.
Well, yeah, and he did it very recently.
Yeah. But as we have both of our runners, going over territory that their opponent has covered, I'd like to remind everybody, hey, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, just give these runners a follow here on Twitch, and stay tuned to the Speed Gaming family of channels 1 through 6, as well as Link to the Past Randomizer 1 through 4 for all of the 2018 Spring Link to the Past Randomizer tournament action coming your way here almost 24/7. We've got so many matches going on.
Nice bow strat there from Couch in the invisible Stalfos room. Just shooting the last Stalfos instead of trying to kill it with a pot or a sword.
So Couch is going to be routing around to get the last item here in I think it's the last. I think it's item number 3 here in Eastern Palace. I believe it's just some rupees or some bombs.
So it's sort of, it will be sort of irrelevant because he's killing Armos either way.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Strumpet, let's see what is in that Thieves' Town big chest. It could be massive. It could be absolutely irrelevant. But that's why we watch Rando, boys and girls.
Yep.
Got the key, gotta know now. It's time to go check the big chest.
Or not?
Perhaps I miscounted items. We'll see if he changes.
Yeah, I don't think he'll change items in here, but if he does, having this much health and knowing that he'll strip the fight, unlikely to see a change to Kana Burna.
Yeah.
But once again, it would be very interesting if he decided to open that chest when he had all the items, because once again, he should have known that was either the small key or was one of the other dungeon items if he had all the items already. Unless he forgot he had the hammer already. Which is not unheard of by any means.
No, not at all. Meanwhile, Couch is going to go ahead and take out Armos Knights over here. Armos will not have an item. And Couch going to get a little bit trolled by that red Igor. Wasn't exactly vulnerable just yet.
Yeah, just a touch early there.
And the silver arrows making the Armos fight just not even worth bothering sometimes.
Yeah, you don't even need to know. You don't even need to know anything about the Armos fight to just obliterate them with the silver arrows. Fire arrows hit Armos, win fight.
That's right. Alright, so Strumpet's headed over to Hammer Pegs.
We'll see if Couch does go immediately for the pod play. Would not be surprised to see that is, but doesn't look like it. Not yet. So this may mean that Couch may put off the pod play for a significant period of time here. If he wasn't going to link it in right after the Eastern Palace play. We may be seeing it as a last or near last location check. Time for some frog quest by the looks of it.
Jeremiah. He was a bullfrog.
It was a good friend of mine.
That's right.
But I helped him drink his wine. Off we go to deliver the smith back to his forge. Alright. Meanwhile, Strumpet also gonna go pick up the frog here. Most likely gonna continue along the South Dark World here for a while. Meanwhile, Old Man has 20 rupees for us.
Big 20! We don't really care anymore.
No, we really don't.
Almost, yeah, we almost got 1,000 rupees over here. Come on, man. Got 1,000 rupees, and we've already been to the Purveyor Extraordinaire of Life lessons, so...
Yeah. The only thing that's left for Couch to spend money on this seed, aside from potions, is pod entrance. And that's only 110.
Oh, rub that in, why don't you?
Oh, sorry, is the problem that it's 120 for you too often?
No, last night in my race, I had 102 rupees going in.
So it was 120 for you then?
It was a little more than that, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a different problem.
Yeah. All right, so Couch is going to pick up the lunchbox here. It's a quick check with the flute.
Yep. I don't think there's much else for him to check in that area at this point, so won't even need to change over to the Dark World or anything. Doesn't have a mirror, doesn't have a book. It's gonna be one of these seeds where if we get mirror, we're gonna have a bunch of one-off locations to check. It'll be real annoying, but we'll see if and when that happens.
Yeah, so right now, looking at the logic, we're going to need mirror. We're going to need Cane of Samaria. We know where the fire rod is, but we're also going to need the boots.
Yeah.
So that is the sum total of what we need for go mode at this moment. So and Big 20 and Dig Spot.
So what are our big location checks that we haven't had yet? Spike Cave is one of them.
Yep. Cave Above Graveyard, which tends to be a trolley location in general.
We can't get that though.
Right. Oh, you're talking about now in Logic that we haven't.
Talking about now in Logic, yeah, because we can't get into Ice Palace regardless, because we still don't have something to kill Freezors. We can't get into Desert Palace because we don't have the mirror or the book.
Yep.
We can do Mire Area though, and I don't think we've seen that yet.
Yeah, and we can't. We also have Helmasaur King, which neither one of our runners can do right now because one needs the bow, one needs the hammer. But we do know that exists. Here's where, if Couch is answering that question for us. Here's Mire Shack.
Yep. And potentially Mire proper, depending on what medallion it is. It is Ether, so we do have access.
Yeah, we've got access all the way to it, but we just can't get to Vitreous depending on the item layout.
Yeah, unless Samari's right here, which knowing Mire lately, it very well could be right here.
That's right, but it isn't, unfortunately. Now, a vanilla Cane of Samaria would be ridiculously evil, as Chaos Lord 2 in the chat has pointed out.
Yeah. That being
Couch
said,
looks like he's going to YOLO it.
I was about to say, the Samaria not being as big a deal, because Misery Mire just being a Couch deciding.
And no. He's just going to fake us out. We don't even get our bird toss. Evil.
Well, now we can get the bird toss, though, because you don't get the bird toss when you come from the Mire Shack regardless. Now we might get the bird toss. Can't blame him too much for this, although that being said, not a huge lot of... oh, whoops, Strumpet, that's not what you wanted to do. Don't push the block that way.
Strumpet nopes out. And now he's got his water toes.
Yep.
Where is... Oh, Couch is going back to the Dark World via the Aga portal here. That's so few...
I was about to say, that's what you want to do if you're going to Pod, which I'm sure he's doing right now. Now something that makes more sense. This makes sense why he didn't immediately go back to Pod, was because it was a little bit more involved than just going to 5, of course.
True. Because he doesn't have the hammer.
Yeah, which is because it's in Pod.
Yep.
Surprise, surprise.
Darn vanilla locations.
Welcome back, Ice Rod. Both players having Ice Rod now.
Nice rod.
We'll see if Strumpet makes the Spike Cave check. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Given that it's almost literally right next door.
And once again, we're sort of running out of locations in the first place, so...
Yep.
Like, he'll know that the Waterfall Cave is a thing that he can do, and so there's a good chance that if this is not a major progression, he'll go grab his bow and do this almost immediately after we finish here. But let's see what Spike Cave has for us.
Yeah, chat bringing out a good point. Nobody's gone into Hera yet, even though we've had access to it for a while.
Actually, no, we haven't had access to it for a while. We only have access to it because of the hammer. So I guess Strumpet has had access for a little while, but it also hasn't been the most useful, the most immediate of check location.
So Butter in the Spike Cave.
Although it would have been better routing, of course, for Strumpet to route in Hera before he went to the Dark World there and go to the Dark World on top of Turtle Rock, but he's going to go do Hera now. Maybe. Is he forgetting he doesn't have the mirror?
Yeah, that's the normal way to get up to Hera, but not going to work today, folks.
I'm pretty sure he's already checked Spectacle Rock. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, he definitely has. He has the sword.
Ah.
He has Butter Sword. He's definitely checked Spectacle Rock.
Exactly.
Don't go in the portal. Don't do it, Strumpet. Just jump down the cliff. There you go. Everything is fine now.
Everything's fine. We're all fine here. How are you?
I'm fine. And he went into the Dark World portal and was like, why did I go in the Dark World portal?
Oh man.
when you're just not quite focused enough for what you're doing at that moment.
I mean, that stuff like that happens, particularly when you're in a tournament match. Nerves kind of get to you a little bit. You know, both of these guys are 2-0. Both of these guys know that they are up against very strong competition, and sometimes the nerves can get to you just a little bit. I think it's probably what just happened with Strumpet.
Yeah, and I think at this moment we're pretty close to a net even between these runners right now. The biggest difference, of course, being that Strumpet has not actually gotten the bow yet, which could prove to be a problem potentially. But in terms of otherwise, they're pretty much dead even at the moment.
Yeah, except for the fact that Strumpet is going to have to double dip pod. Couch is going to be able to do the full clear here all at once.
It is true. But the hammer has helped his routing in other locations, so that's helped a little bit in that way, at least.
True, and you raise a good point that he will not have... I don't think he'll have the same number of locations to check after Hera that Couch will, but it also depends on what we have on Helmasaur King, if that is an item.
Well, and this is sort of what I was talking about. The hammer can potentially lock a lot of locations, but because we had the Titan's Mitts and the Flipper and the Hookshot, and we had Egg in him, the hammer didn't actually lock a lot this location that's not still locked by something else. Because Swamp is still locked by the mirror, for instance, and Turtle Rock is still locked by the Cane of Samaria, so these other hammer-locked locations are still locked by another progression item.
Yeah, I missed what was in the chest there in Tower of Hera. A little bit of a freeze on my screen.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch it myself.
Bottle and Hera chest. Thank you, Tracker.
And 10 arrows, so we are clear on Hera.
Yep.
Couch, you didn't need to hit that switch. You silly guy, you.
Just tiny little mistakes that, you know, runners would normally never make, but you know, when you're in this tournament situation here, it could affect you a little bit.
And to be fair, Ken, I'm all for Swamp Palace having things like that. Yesterday I commentated a race that had a Fire Rod in Swamp Palace that was locked in Turtle Rock the Hookshot.
Nice.
So well, I'm all for Kane. I'm all for Kane in Swamp Palace to lock the boots or something like that.
Gotta find the mirror first, though. All right, let us see what is on Helmasaur King. Couch 23 making his way there. Meanwhile, Strumpet does not get trolled by the troll dorm. Hera complete. Let's see where he goes from here. I would surmise Eastern and Pod.
Well, he doesn't want to go to Eastern and Pod yet. He doesn't have a bow yet.
Oh, yeah.
He needs to actually go pick that up from the Waterfall Ferry first. And I expect that to be a fairly quick play in the near future. This being a very solid play as well. Very short check, of course. We will see if he decides to dip Meyer, though, which will make it a slightly less short check.
Very true. Meyer is anything but fast. Most of the time.
And I expect that part of the reason for that is that Meyer has some very convoluted key logic to make sure that worst case scenarios don't key lock the dungeon. I know nothing about the Meyer key logic because most of us don't really worry about it. We just sort of do the dungeon the way that we're supposed to do it, as we already know the layout, and need like, what, 2 small keys? A small key from a chest, I think, to complete the whole thing?
Yep. Looks like Couch is heading up to Hera now as well.
We are getting the Meyer play.
Not a bad play, although, you know, what it could be that Strumpet, having fake flippered earlier without the Moon Pearl, may have forgotten that he didn't get the Waterfall Ferry.
It's possible. We'll have to see how long it takes him to get back to that location. But that being said, with how much we've seen, every new check is something that could be very important because we have enough items we're still looking for. We still need the boots, we still need the mirror, we still need the Cane of Samaria, we potentially still need the book. The mirror may be locked behind the book as well.
That's very true. But we know that the boots are locking the fire rod, so...
Yes. Which is why we're not mentioning the fire rod here. We need the fire rod, but we don't need to find it.
And Strumpetplaya probably just said to himself, it figures, because he finds the big key in the first chest of Meyer when he needs to full clear it.
Yep. Not even a crystal in the first place, so it was never going to be a useful thing to find the big key in the small chest for this dungeon.
So to answer a question in the chat, why would Desert Palace be boots locked if the small key or the big key has been randomized to the torch in the northwest room of the main part of Desert Palace? It can require the boots to get that item. Yes,
and equally importantly, if the small key is there and the big key is in the one other chest that's accessible without the boots, the dungeon is still logically boot locked, but you are able to complete Lin Mola's without finding the boots first.
Right.
Which can be a very important difference to make there, as you can steal one of the keys from the back that you would need to get all the way back and use it to open the front instead.
Yes. Alright, so Strumpet has yet to find an item here in Misery Mire. I think Couch just made a miscount in his items because he did check the big chest.
Yeah.
Alright, there's one item for Misery Mire, not helpful. It is a triple boom. There's only one item left in this entire dungeon, and if it's on Vitreous, Strumpet will not be able to get it.
That is correct.
He's also going to have to go the long way here, lighting the torches.
Of course of note is we are a long way from ruling out Pedestal from being a required location this seed as well. There are plenty of items that could still be on Pedestal this seed.
I think all of our required items could be on the pedestal this seed. Except
for
Samaria.
Yeah.
Yep. But the boots and the mirror, which are both, we know are both required, could both be on the pedestal.
And even Bombos.
Yep.
Now, if Bombos is on pedestal, boots are somewhere before pedestal, but that's not of that significant a revelation.
Alright, Strumpet checking Vanilla Big Key location in Mire. Coming up a little bit short here. Yeah, Couch, you got to go to the Dark World before you can jump down to Spike Cave.
Well, Strumpet, it's pretty much the moment of truth here. 2 more locations that are checked very, very quickly here. Couch, meanwhile, gonna pick up his butter sword.
It's like butter.
Not what you wanted, not what you're looking for, but you'll definitely you'll be like, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, better than, a big 20.
Strumpet, not quite sure why you didn't pull out your hookshot, but you made it, so either way.
Yeah.
The mirror!
Oh.
Mire is the play.
Mire is required.
And we're gonna see immediate Desert Palace dip, I imagine, here. Don't flute away.
Oh,
please,
without a doubt.
Don't flute away. Okay, he's just going over to the other ledge, I think.
Yeah.
Or might be checking checkerboard first, potentially, but I think it's just he wants to go over to the ledge first.
And Couch is right behind him. Looks like Couch is also going to be doing a Misery Mire check here.
The one problem with this, of course, being that it's leading Strumpet to locations that are not the bow. But that's not surprising, considering we know that the bow doesn't lead us to anywhere anywhere new anyways. So something else had to lead us away from the bow.
And this will allow Strumpet to... okay, so Desert could possibly be bootlocked. We'll see. The key is on the torch, but if the big key is here, we might be fine.
Yeah, so our runners will defeat Landmolas because they are not as interested in finding out what those 2 items on the right are compared to completing this dungeon. That being said, of course, Desert Palace being what? What are those? Why would you not go pick up the small key, Strumpet? You're crazy.
He's fluting away?
He wants the fire rod.
Go get his fire rod? Okay.
Can't blame him. Desert, once again, is a pendant, so not required necessarily any more than just for the boots.
Okay, sorry, I had an idiot attack there. I thought Desert was a crystal. Alright, so Strumpet's going to be able to clear out Skullwoods. We'll be able to enter Ice Palace now. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see where his plays take him now. Getting a red potion, is that what we're doing here? Must be. Yeah. Just picking up a red potion. I'm not quite sure why he didn't just go to the witch's hut. Oh, he's going for Skullwoods, that's why. Going for Skullwood.
Yeah, avoids an extra trip.
Yep.
Oh no, Couch ran out of magic. Oh, but he's got green goo. Okay, Mountain Dew to the rescue.
Yeah, everyone having green goos. That's what the first bottle was.
Yeah.
Strumpet, of course, used it for the potion glitch in Pod.
And since Strumpet has already visited Skullwoods here, he's just going to make a run straight for the big ugly moth. Mothula being quite possibly the most annoying boss in... Okay, not possibly. Mothula being the most annoying boss in the entire game.
Yeah, just for virtue of having ability to negate damage done to him by almost imperceptible means makes him pretty darn annoying. For those who don't know, the moth is coded in a way that he doesn't take damage from spikes, which in the vanilla game is the same damage that the butter sword does. So in the vanilla game, the butter sword can't damage the moth. And any damage done by knocking the moth into spikes also ends up being cancelled out.
So, interesting choice here by Strumpet. It turns out
But
to be
it's
the right
bombos.
choice. Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely turns out to be the right choice. But I think most runners would normally go straight to Mothula because we'd already found one item in Skullwoods. And oh no, Strumpet gets wall mastered.
That's not an awful situation. He probably won't mind getting an extra heart out of that deal anyways. Cost him some time, but get some more safety for it.
True. Yeah, even with red mail, at as low as Strumpet is right now for hearts, Mothula can always troll the living bejesus out of you. So,
getting off those fire rods fast enough that the full magic refill still topped him all the way up there.
Yeah. Oh, Couch has got to be careful here. Couch only has 1.5 hearts.
Shouldn't be a problem. The only damage he might take from the rest of this would be from the anti-fairy catching him here, and he's just gonna take his time, dodge the anti-fairy.
Yeah. Alright.
You have to really be dawdling to get hit by those eye lasers.
True. Alright, so Strumpet takes down the moth, gonna get his crystal here. Okay, I am a liar because I thought we had both, or at least one item in Skullwoods before Moth. We did not, so Strumpetplaya's play there to get that chest that takes forever to get in Skullwoods was absolutely the right call.
Or at least it wasn't wrong. It comes down to a both ways around being basically the same thing. You're gonna mirror bonk there, I'm pretty sure, Strumpet. Maybe you won't. Okay, you were just high enough.
Alright, so Couch is going for Swamp Palace, apparently.
And Strumpet going for ice, unsurprisingly. Hopefully he will check the waterfall cave as well while he's here. We shall see. Not yet.
Oh, Strumpet. Oh.
So, we could have a significant problem coming in the near future, depending on when Strumpet gets to that waterfall cave. Hopefully having not forgotten it.
But meanwhile, Couch is not going to desert. He is going to swamp. Will likely, almost certainly, do a full clear. So those boots will continue to be, or continue to elude him.
Yep, they will. Actually, how far are we from Gomo now? Just the Samaria cane now? Are we just looking for Samaria?
Between the two runners, yes.
Yeah.
For
true, yeah. Each runner needing one more item
mode.
as well. Yeah, for no mode. For no mode, we need just the Samaria.
Interesting choice by Strumpet to. Again, not to finish desert, yet to go into ice, which is a much longer clear.
Yeah, not even finishing the second item in desert was definitely a very interesting decision.
Again, I mean, you've got to make gambles, and making a gamble was the only reason I won my tournament match yesterday, so, I can certainly understand that.
In one of these seeds where both the other pendant dungeons have had a payoff so far, can't really blame that part of the logic.
True.
Both Misery Mire and Desert Palace having a required item to complete the seed. Although, of course, Desert Palace being the green pendant, effectively, actually, Desert has 2 more items left in it as well.
Alright, Strumpet setting up the famous Ice Palace bomb jump.
That was a bit of a miracle, but we'll take it.
Hey, you do whatever works. It ain't gotta be pretty, it's just gotta work.
I wonder how surprised he was that worked. Because he definitely wasn't standing still when that bomb went off.
Hey, you always gotta make it look like it's exactly what you planned.
Exactly. I was getting that nice first small key in Ice Palace to allow the right side very easily.
Yeah. The only thing that'll be remotely problematic is running around to the iced tea room, which goes by certain other colorful names that we will not mention here on a family-friendly stream. There's some big love in Ice Palace.
Not quite progression, but we'll see what else is in here.
And I think, unless Canis Samaria is on Magic Bat, I think the Pedestal Dream is dead. Because Canis Samaria cannot be on Pedestal, because Misery Mire is a pendant dungeon.
Right, yep.
So,
Samaria was the one item that we were saying could not be on Pedestal, and of course, now that we found everything except for Samaria.
Yep. So unless Powder is on Pedestal and Samaria is at Magic Bat, the dream is dead.
Why would that change anything? It still gives us no Samaria to finish Misery Mire.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
I'm like, why are you making things convoluted here when they're not convoluted?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Pedestal Dream is dead. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, definitely still some possible trolls, and definitely still some partially trolly seeds or things that they could throw at us here overall. Yeah. Desert Palace having another of the items would be pretty big, whether it's actually in the dungeon or the green pendant.
Yep.
Hello, Big Key.
Yeah. So both of our runners now just basically in a race to find the two items they're missing. Both of them missing the Canis Samaria. Strumpet needs to go to Waterfall of Wishing to find the bow. Couch needs to go to Desert Palace to find Zabuts.
One of the few times you know you're not going to double dip Turtle Rock is when Cane of Samaria is the item you need to be able to finish Turtle Rock.
Indeed. Because you can't go nowhere.
Not unless you're Andy. Not unless you're Andy. And
yeah.
I don't think even Andy makes that play.
No.
Especially given that we found Bombos as the last of the items we found so far, so it's sort of irrelevant anyways.
Yeah, to answer a question from chat, yes, technically Couch still needs 3 items, but he knows exactly where the fire rod is, so. And Bloomerang there in Ice Palace, is that 2 or 3 items? No, we got a Big Glove, we got the Bloomerang.
And I think the other item that chat might be referring to is actually the Bombos Medallion. He still needs Boots, Bombos Medallion, and Samaria.
Yeah, you're right. So Strumpet's gonna hit up Cold Stare here.
Using the Bombos Medallion, can't blame him.
Should be able to get the quick kill here as well.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get trolled too much by that ice block, which he didn't. One more slash, no!
Oh! Alright, still pretty quick.
Still pretty darn quick, yeah.
Yeah.
When they're all down to 1 slash before they get out of the corner, they're still gonna die real fast.
Yeah. Alright, so just Big Love on Cold Stare. That is not the place we needed to go. Let's see what Argus has in store for Couch today.
Meanwhile, please, Strumpet, mirror, and go to Waterfall Cave. Please.
Meanwhile, on Argus, that's gotta be Kane! Kane of Samaria on Argus.
For no mode.
That's right, we have no mode, but Couch needs to make a trip to Desert and needs to pick up his Bombos Medallion.
Well, this is not a good sign for Strumpet. This means we are going to find the Cane of Samaria, go to Turtle Rock, and still not find the bow.
Yeah.
Almost definitely. Like, unless he is cognizant of the fact that he is not check that waterfall cave.
Yeah, and
it could be a little while.
Yeah, that's not what we wanted to see there. Couch checking cave 43 or 45, excuse me.
And he's going to take his time to pick up that full heart container. Can't blame him too much.
It's a full heart, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to go use the shovel real fast.
It's a good way to work it in. Fortunately, it's just going to be a big 20.
Where are we going, Couch?
He is thinking.
So we're getting North Dark World check here, probably. Graveyard Ledge. Oh, it would just be Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, because Couch is already. No, Couch has already checked Quakefish. So.
Yeah. And of course, not having the Fire Rod yet. Actually, I don't think he's ever checked this back room of Skull Woods. Remember?
Yeah, he did. He did nope out of there earlier. This does allow Strumpet to kind of catch up here. He's going to full clear Swamp exactly the same way Couch did. And, you know, he can, after he clears Swamp, he can just run 2 screens to the right, mirror, take the portal up to Waterfall of Wishing. That may be his routing plan here. Yeah,
I unfortunately somewhat doubt it, because I expect he would have done that after Ice Palace if he was going to do it. I expect that the Camp Samaria is going to immediately blow him all the way to Turtle Rock.
Or it may make him... no, it won't make him go to Mire, because he already got both items in Mire. Never mind.
Yeah, there's no reason to go to Mire again. More likely to go back to Desert Palace, where there's still an item and the green pendant to collect.
Yep.
Strumpet is going to make the straight back play. It'll be interesting to see how his routing works for this then. I expect he probably will come back in to finish the left side, but you never know what play he decides to make here, because he could decide to just simply go, nah, I'm just going to Turtle Rock.
Yep. Which we will know will be a bad decision, but
no worse, not really much worse a decision than clearing the left side of Swamp. So,
right. I was gonna say it's only a bad decision because we are in no mode over here.
Yeah. Any location that's not the waterfall cave is a bad idea.
Right. Strumpet picking up his powder.
We are getting desert, I think. This looks like desert.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be desert. Oh, wait.
This desert's not even red. What are you doing? It's like brown-ish.
We'll see as well if Couch decides to full clear desert, because even though he's going to find the boots in here, he's still going to want for the Bombos medallion. So he may opt for a full clear here, which may give Strumpetplaya some time to decide to hit up that waterfall cave.
Same time, could always give a little bit more advantage over. We still haven't seen the half magic yet, so he could always find that.
That's true.
There's Strumpet with his red cane.
That's right. That's gotta be Kane! Yo, you guys think I wasn't gonna do it?
Baited!
That's right.
Here we go, Couch. Couch is gonna do it. He's gonna pick up the boots. And he is going to continue clearing desert.
Yeah,
Yes, he's going to continue to clear desert. And Strumpetplaya doing exactly what I thought he was going to do. Didn't even finish the left side, just going straight to Turtle Rock.
Ooh.
Can I call him or can I call him?
I refuse to answer that question.
Hey, Hookshot is not in Turtle Rock on Vanilla Big Key location. I am happy.
Now, Strumpet is going to be able to full clear Turtle Rock, and almost certainly will. It's a dungeon he's going to have to clear anyway, and it's also a dungeon that, Go mode doesn't really help you with if there's a key on Laser Bridge. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
There's not much of a time save there. The real time loss is from having to go back up Death Mountain
after he's finished all the dungeons.
Yeah.
But Phantom, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about because you commentated my second week race. So you were there for my hook shot in Vanilla Big Key and bow at the back of Laser Bridge.
Oh yeah, I know. Hook shot was in Pendant Turtle Rock for my race last night too.
All sorts of hook shot silliness. I don't know what's with hook shot in Turtle Rock in V29.
I don't either. So we know that Strumpet's not going to find what he's looking for here, but like you said, he could find half magic, which would, be really nice.
Yeah.
But
although Couch could also find half magic, which would also be nice. This is the whole thing, is that we don't know which runner's going to get little small advantages through the rest of the seed, if either one of them gets another small advantage. That's just a little bit of love.
He does get the green pendant, so it'll be interesting to see. Is he going to flute over to Sahasrarlo, turn in that green pendant, or is he going to just go straight to Skull Woods? Or
straight to library.
He's got to straight to library, yeah. Yeah, nice Landmo kill too from Couch.
Did we not get a checkerboard cave check initially? Is that what we're doing right now?
I
think so.
That's gotta be. Yeah.
I can't remember what was in here. I think it was a red something or other. What was a piece of heart or big 20 or whatever? Yeah, big 20.
Alright, Strumpet finding his big key and a small key. And Strumpet.
Straight to the fire rod.
Yeah, can't blame him.
No reason to not go do the fire rod and immediately do Skull Woods, knowing that there's still 2 items left in Skull Woods, assuming he's been keeping proper track of it.
Alright, if he heads straight to Skull Woods very soon, Couch will be in go mode. Let's see where he goes. Now I gotta turn in the mushroom drug deal with the witches.
Not gonna be helping him find the bow any faster. Hey look, 5 rupees.
Why not? I'm here. Let's buy some potions.
So where's our play to? That does look like, yes, it is Skullwoods.
Yep, alright. That's pretty much gonna do it, I would imagine.
I would imagine with Strumpetplaya being another 2 dungeons back, it's likely going to put Couch in a fairly insurmountable lead unless Strumpet immediately finds Bow after he finishes Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he'll be able to make up some time because he will be able to finish Pod. Remember, he has dipped into Pod already.
And
so he'll be able
Eastern.
Yeah, so he'll be able to finish Pod and immediately mirror to Eastern, which Couch was not able to do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the Ice Palace, the time he's put into Ice Palace, sort of countering that efficiency.
Indeed. Yeah, no, there was no need to even set foot in Ice Palace in this seed. Again, it's not a decision you can really fault him for, given what he knew at the time. But definitely something we'd like to know is whether he forgot about Waterfall of Wishing, or
yeah, we'll get more and more of an idea as we figure out how quick, when we see how quickly he gets to the Waterfall of Wishing. As he finishes all the dungeons he has ability to complete.
And almost certainly going to check Mimic Cave here as well.
Yep. And Couch is in go mode.
Ladies and gentlemen, Couch 23 has activated go mode.
Strumpet having problems because he has sword beams, and sword beams are awful for killing mimics.
Yes, indeed they are. And they're also awful for killing Gibdos as well. As you see Couch taking a deliberate hit there. Just
turning off sword beams is a very regular strategy in a number of places in the Dark World. The most significant of them being the 6 terrapin room in the pod basement, where you like to have sword beams to not have to switch off of hammer and back onto hammer again. Lots of people like to be at full health going in there and then lose it in the room afterwards. So the room afterwards they don't have sword beams anymore. But lots of places where sword beams are more of a nuisance than they are a help, especially once you're at least tempered sword.
Alright, Moth is down. You know what we're about to see.
Oh, that was Sankheart.
To 1. Yeah. Sankheart hype. So this should be a flute to 1, a trip into Turtle Rock, and then on to Ganon's Tower. And for these runners, this seed is going to be very long for these runners to. I imagine that Couch is going to come in right under 2 hours, probably around the 1:55 mark, and for runners of this caliber to be close to a 2-hour seed, almost unheard of.
Yeah, you definitely don't see that too much.
But there were lots of... Yeah, go ahead.
I must say, when you have 2 required pendant dungeon dips, it can happen, especially with the... And of course, it was an Aghanim seed, which, of course, as mentioned before, does just add 6 minutes to your run, regardless of how the rest of it was.
Lots of false... or not really false routes here, but lots of times where the item needed for progression was in probably the last place most runners would look.
Yeah.
So
didn't have any swamp trolls at least, but aside from that, then again, I guess our last item to clear swamp was the mirror, so we didn't really have a chance to dip swamp.
So Strumpet leaving the dungeon there and coming back in. Now, normally a runner would do that so that if you die on Trinex, you start over again at that entrance, vastly decreasing the time you need to come back. So I'm wondering if Strumpet's worried about dying on Trinex or running out of magic? Or...
I was about to say, I would assume it's more on the magic, which is still a little interesting, as of course it should only take one shot from each magic hit. Should get 3 slashes, and there goes the first head.
Yep. Did not go into the menu first to switch over to the fire rod, so there's going to be some lag up.
Yeah. The ice head would have to troll him pretty badly at this point, and down goes the ice head.
And then 3 hits with Butter Sword, and we've got a dead Trinex.
Just a little early on the spin there, but still getting a very quick kill. There we go.
Yeah, if you hit that spin just right, you can get 2 hits on the first spin, and you can then strike Trinex's head for the third hit before the glowing middle section of his body even becomes hittable.
It can definitely be very tricky at times. Depending on how the leg decides to treat you, it can be very difficult to time it properly.
Yeah. Alright, Strumpet. Is he going to go straight to Waterfall Cave? Where is Strumpet going?
Straight to Waterfall Cave will keep him close. Anything else, I think, gives Couch an almost insurmountable lead.
I agree. He is going to Waterfall Cave. No, he's going to turn in the mushroom. You gotta clear the screen first. There you go, Strumpet.
And of course, we'll not find his bow here, but...
No.
One last chance here, Strumpet. One last chance.
Yeah, maybe he'll mirror to 8 to make it quicker, but...
That was not 8.
Not 8.
So this will be bonk locations and graveyard ledge.
Yep.
Which will likely be enough time to give Couch a very, very significant lead overall.
Yeah, you hate to see that happen, but you know, this is what happens if you forget a location.
Yep.
At this point, I've got to believe that Strumpet has simply forgotten.
Yeah, had sort of mentally written it off because he'd already been to the area and done fake flipper thing.
Yep. But I'm sure at this point, you know, at 141 here, Couch has got to believe that he's actually behind. Not knowing that his opponent has
the boots being the biggest problem there, knowing that getting the mirror basically led directly to the boots very, very quickly, and he didn't make that play.
So I would imagine Couch is sweating right now because he doesn't know that he doesn't need to be sweating.
We're skipping the big key chest? No, we're not skipping the big chest. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he realized he had a big old goose egg up there in keys and was like, yeah, I probably need to go the other way.
And really, any situation in this dungeon, if you skip the big chest, you could be gambling that you don't have enough keys to finish.
Yep.
Because it's always possible that if the vanilla big key chest and the big chest both have small keys, you are required to, I believe, go to at least the big chest in every one of those scenarios. Yes. Yeah, you would always be required. If the vanilla big key chest has a small key, you are always required to get the rest of the small keys.
Yep. Alright, so Strumpet just hit up King's Tomb to no avail. Alright, where are you fluting to, Strumpet? 4.
This is Pyramid Fairy check.
Yep. I feel so bad for Strumpet. I think we all do. I think anybody who's played Rando has been in this situation before where you forgot a location, and Couch seemed to have a little bit of trouble with the dark room here, but you know, the one location that you forgot about is the progression. So definitely a tough situation to be in, but clearly Strumpet here is going to go ahead, and at least he has the short route to the Pyramid Fairy here, because he can mirror out and then take the Aghanim portal back. Couch says, alright, yeah, I am done with Laser Bridge here because I am in go mode. So now that I have my key, I'm going to put Laser Bridge in my rearview mirror. So oh, nice swag cane dash there from Couch 23. I have got to learn that trick so I can steal it. So Strumpet heading into Waterfall Fairy, and I was hoping he'd at least get the half magic for his troubles, but he does not. Let's see how quickly Couch takes out Trinex here. Oddly enough, there I could have sworn he hit the red head at least 3 times, but he did not. Strumpet going up here now to check Catfish. I've got to assume he's going to check Catfish. I know Couch did, but Strumpet did not. Somewhere, sometime, we gotta hope Strumpet remembers that we got a Waterfall Fairy. Now, he could be combining the 2 checks here. Checking the Catfish and then a mirror straight to... However, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower in which the Ganon's Tower Big Key could possibly be. Put your guesses in the chat right now.
Of course, subscribers and those who have subscribers to any Speed Gaming channel and those who have donated at least 250 bits are eligible for the leaderboards that are kept track of.
And Strumpet does finally find the D. Unfortunately, as he bombs the chest, we know that it is going to be too little, too late in this race. Barring a miraculous collapse or other disaster. Yeah, it would be one of the epic collapses of all time at this point.
Or just a severe, good old I have a power outage on my way through Ganon's Tower type of thing.
Yeah, and that, by the way, we are not in any way denigrating Strumpetplaya's play, as has been patently obvious by his play. His execution is great, and aside from that one error he made in not checking Waterfall Cave, his routing's been pretty good too.
Yeah, and it's very hard to say how much of that was him willfully ignoring it, hoping that it wasn't an item, and how much of that was some degree of his mind going, I've done this already, I'm good.
Yeah. Interesting decision here. Couch clearing out the Baris from below before lighting the torches here. Okay, extra security, I guess, is good to have.
Yeah, with Boots not as big a concern. If he was bootless, I would definitely not blame him for that.
Yeah.
As bootless, that room bootless can be a little tight if you get trolled at all by that spike in the middle of the room.
It's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you guessed 1 through 6, you're the GOAT. And I don't mean the greatest of all time.
No, I'm just like that's an interesting one to use in this situation.
Yeah.
We're not killing Bob this seed, or at least Couch isn't killing Bob this seed. I don't think Strumpet will either.
I very seriously doubt it. So Bob shall live. All right, so that's chest number 7. I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7.
Yep.
And then we'll have 8, 9,
now, from my personal
10,
guess,
11 here.
Rip. There goes my personal guess.
And 11 here is triple boom, so my guess of 18 is still alive here.
Whoops, Couch, please.
Oh, Couch, the hookshot's trolling you.
Strumpet into the Helmasaur fight. 2 butter sloshes at the end will be enough to take out Helmasaur.
B-Torp in the fire bar room in Ganon's Tower. That is 12?
We are just gonna silver. Yes.
Okay. Remember, Phantom Ryu's an attorney because he can't do math.
So that's important.
Yeah. Lucky number 13 coming up here. There it is, lucky number 13. I should have guessed my lucky number 13. I did not. I chose 18 today. So...
Too bad.
Is it 13 or is it 14?
Chat saying 14. We'll figure this out shortly.
Yeah.
I believe 13 is right.
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Chat coming through with 13.
9,
We're
11. Yeah, it is 13. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Make me second guess myself.
And Couch gonna zoom his way on up the tower.
Yeah, it is gauntlet time, and this should be good. Butter sword gauntlet, yeah. And then a Ganon fight with silver arrows. Yeah. Feels good, man.
We're not jumping off the bridge. We're just gonna dodge the cannonballs. We are gonna take the safety room, which I find a little interesting, considering we have a blue potion and powder, but I guess we want a fairy.
I mean, I understand the extra safety strats, but, you know, Couch has demonstrated that he probably doesn't even need it.
No, I don't expect he would have, but once again, making sure you don't take a death can be of very high importance.
It's very true, and you can never really, you know, fault a person for taking safeties. So.
No. Especially not in a blind race like rando races always are, because you don't know what your opponent's doing. In an NMG race where you can actually keep track of what your opponent's doing and decide on your level of safeties based on what your opponent is doing and how well they've played makes a little bit more sense than here, where you're sort of making your play entirely based on what you believe your own capabilities are at the moment.
Plus, as I was saying earlier, Couch has got to believe that he's behind. So, if he's even thinking about that, some runners just don't even think about their opponent.
How did the first Landmola not die?
So he had his sword out, and
the
Landmola, Landmola hit the sword first. That has happened to me more times than I care to think about. And I don't know this to be true, but anecdotally from my experience, it seems that the poke will take priority over the silver arrow.
Fortunately, Couch getting a little bit trolled there, missing the proper setup for the quick. I think turning up before he ended up placing the block.
Yeah.
But gets it done with. Anything that has him not die is going to be just fine, of course, at this point.
Indeed.
Between having a fairy and a blue potion, there's very little chance that he's taking a death to Ganon or anything else along the way.
Yep. Yeah, taking the long way around here, picking up the magic, ensuring that he does not despawn the 6th level, or the 6th floor.
Yeah, there's one way to get Strumpet back in the match. We'd still probably be talking about a couple of Ganon falls at that point to catch him all the way back up, but...
more than a couple, I think.
Well, starting at the start of the tower again would not be a fun thing to be doing regardless.
Yeah.
Couch wanting his full magic refill. Can't blame him. You sort of... It is butter sword and silvers, but you don't want to be playing around with your magic in that last fight if you don't have to.
Not at all. So we'll see. Now Strumpet could make up some time here if he decides to go left. He does not. He is going to go right. Most runners tend to do that. If you find a key in those first 2 chests, most runners tend to go right side Ganon's tower. He could have taken a gamble and gone left and made up some time, but
believe the strat was initially named after Hiei, then it just became so popular that everyone just calls it sort of the right side play.
Yep.
Dark Magician strat, on the other hand, still being very uncommon, so still keeping its own name.
Alright, there's a double for Couch.
Should be another double, yep.
Yep. Yeah, getting some good patterns for Aghanim there. Stunk that he missed early in that last pattern, but the final energy ball from Aghanim was enough to end it.
Yep.
This is going to be well, this is just going to be relatively academic here for Couch 23. Of course, you know, as we said earlier on, Ganon hugs are the best hugs. There's always a possibility of, you know, a Ganon fall here, but Buttersword silvers, red mail, 15 hearts.
The only real danger is if he tries for a triple and knocks himself off. That's most likely the thing that's going to cost us time here, if anything. Sort of the most annoying spot to have phase 2 occur, but with Buttersword, not really a huge issue.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows the hookshot strats just does that.
Yep.
Takes a couple hits from the fire bats, but between red mail, the amount of hearts we have doesn't even really matter.
And a fairy and a blue potion.
Yeah. We are going to go for Torch Glitch here, rather than rather than aiming for the early silver arrow hit.
Yeah. Interesting choice.
I'd personally be aiming for the early first silver, but not going to matter in the grand scheme of this race.
No, but where Ganon was, though, he had the possibility for a double and possibly a triple as he gets a double there.
Yeah. This should be a double. And that should finish it. Yep.
Toasty! As Dan Forden would say. Meanwhile, as Ganon falls, Strumpet finds the big key. So GG's to Couch. Gonna finish just over an hour 57, just under 2 hours. I was a little off. I said I thought it was going to finish about 1:55. Okay, I was 2 minutes off. But GG's to Couch, who is waiting for us in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in.
All right.
Couch 23, welcome to the live chat. GG's to you. What a seed. Tell us what you thought about that one.
Oh, I don't even have any words for that one.
So what I got to know is, it took you quite some time to finally head over to Desert Palace. What were you thinking when you found those boots in Desert?
I thought I was like way behind. Thought it was maybe 20 minutes behind or so. Just because it took me so long to go over there, and then the hesitation outside of Meyer for the first time.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have been wrong if it wasn't for one location. You might be able to guess which location. You might not as well, though, because it's a fairly standard one.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. There was a whole bunch of stuff that just kind of threw me for a loop this seed.
There was.
But fortunately for you, your opponent either forgot about a location or deliberately avoided it until late in the game, and that was the Waterfall of Wishing.
Oh.
So he did early fake flippers, and before he had the Moon Pearl, so we're wondering if he mentally ticked it off or whether it was just a matter of, as we said,
that's unfortunate.
Deciding not to do it until he finally got it at the end for his go mode after doing the catfish check as well.
Oh, all right.
So, you know, as we were noting, it seemed like for a while there, the progression was waiting at the last possible spot for both of you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Exhausting a lot of opportunities, and then it ends up being in some oddball location.
Strumpet got that hammer nice and early, which was one of the early advantages he had, but he also full cleared Light World before he went to Aga 1, so...
Okay, yeah, I was kind of worried that the hammer was just going to show up somewhere in the Light World, and I was just going to be like, well, I just wasted my time doing Aga.
Yeah, we were wondering that too, because you still had a couple, not very many, but a couple of Light World locations to still check. I thought I thought it was a gutsy call, and it was a gutsy call. But hey, sometimes those are the ones that turn out very well. What did you think about Vanilla Hammer?
I just started shaking my head as soon as I saw that. And then I knew I wasn't like way behind due to the hammer maybe being somewhere else. So I knew I was maybe somewhat close.
Yeah, and Strumpet had found it early, but you already had the bow by the time you went in there, so Strumpet had to double dip pod.
Oh, wow.
And Strumpet could have had the bow before he went in there if he had done the Waterfall of Wishing check before doing Aghanim, which would have saved him a lot of time in the long run.
Yeah. It's unfortunate to see something like that happen, but hey, this is a tournament, man, and I don't know about you, but I'll take a win anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, your opponent made the wrong decision, you made the right decision, and isn't that what Rando's all about?
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Strumpet disrespecting the last chest, just bombing Moldorm's parting, Moldorm 2's final possession.
Yeah, but at this point, with silver arrows, red mail, 16 hearts, butter sword, why bother?
Yeah.
Alright, so Strumpet's starting his Aga 2 fight right now. You had a pretty good Aga 2 fight there, Couch. Ooh, triple first round.
I don't think he got the triple. I think it was just a double. Pretty sure one missed wide.
Okay.
Oh, and negating one of the balls on the top.
So, any other fun thoughts on that seed, Couch?
Not really. It was pretty much like self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It was nicely linear enough. Get the flute, go get the flute and hookshot, go up the mountain, see what you can find up there. Get Aghanim access, go do Aghanim. Actually, it was funny when Strumpet finally when Strumpet got Aghanim's cave and had the cave. That was probably it's like, well, that was the seed just screaming at you. Please just go do Aga 1 now.
Yeah, but as soon as I saw the lamp, I was just like, I gotta go do Aga.
Yeah. No, Strumpet found that cape in Aghanim's cave, of course, before going, but that's. I wouldn't have been surprised to see a Waterfall of Wishing check before seeing that cape, but you see that cape, you're just like, okay, fine, seed. I'll do the thing.
So, Couch, you advanced to 3-0 in the tournament. Congratulations again for that. How are you thinking about the next Swiss round here?
I have no idea. Honestly, never thought I'd make it this far, to be honest.
Yeah, you just gotta split the rest to make it to brackets now.
What kind of record do you need to make it out of brackets? Is it a 4-3 or is it a 5-2?
5-2.
5-2.
5-2 with a few Buchholz possibly getting out from the 4-3. So, for instance, if Couch won his race next week and then lost 3 straight, he might have a chance of going through.
Yeah. Oh, Strumpet getting a triple silver shot on Ganon. Nicely done. And there is pork barbecue for Strumpetplaya. GG's to him. Going to finish just a little bit over 2 hours, 4 minutes, just about 7 minutes behind his opponent. GG's to him as well. Strumpet does not come in for interviews, so we will not be hearing from him, I don't believe. But Couch, is there anything, as the victor here, GG's to you again, is there anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
Oh, nothing I can think of. GG to Strumpet. Thanks for the good race.
And Roger. And scene, as it says, closing screen there for Strumpetplaya. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your attention today in this exciting race in the 2018 Spring The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. I have been Phantom Ryu, joined here by Spiffers the Grand. Also like to shout out Michael K., our tracker here today. And again, for the last time, if you enjoyed what you were seeing here today, and how could you not, why don't you give these runners a follow here on Twitch and stay tuned to the entire Speed Gaming family of channels 1 through 6, as well as a Link to the Past Randomizer 1 through 4. We have got randomizer action coming at you almost 24 hours a day here in this massive tournament. I am Phantom Ryu signing off. Spiffers, last word is yours, sir.
Well, once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Phantom, for commentating with me. Do make sure you follow all the Speed Gaming and ALTTP Randomizer channels. They've got lots going on. And let's just give one quick shout out to what's our next race. We've got Sabotender versus Zenobian. Looks like it's going on ALTTP Randomizer. Starting sometime between 10 minutes ago and maybe not yet underway. I don't know. But it was set to start at 3, so if you're looking for another rando race to start, there's one to watch. Have a good afternoon, morning, night, whatever time it is for you.